Hello everyone, I hope you've all had a great holiday season. I can't believe it's already here, but it's time for the Nirvana Guitars 2025 yearly recap. You'll have to excuse me if my voice sounds a little weird. I'm kind of sick right now at the time of recording, but I really wanted this to be my first video of 2026, so just gonna power through it. 2025 was an absolutely insane year for the channel, with not just many builds and tone recreations, but dreamlike experiences of visiting multiple Nirvana studios and playing some of the gear that Nirvana actually used. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started. Here are my favorite Nirvana Guitars moments from 2025. We started out 2025 by demoing and reviewing Chris Stohr's beautiful Bleach Mustang. Chris is really a master at his craft, and the best one out there making and selling Kurt Cobain replica guitars. I reviewed it stock, and shortly after I had a vintage Univox Phase 3 humbucker installed, and it's gotten me the closest to Bleach air tones that I've ever gotten yet. Having that raunchy Univox sound, but with the comfort and scale of a Mustang is almost too good to be true. I've been lucky enough to play and present several different vintage Univox high flyers here on my channel, and they are outstanding guitars, don't get me wrong, but it's no contest, I prefer the feel of a Mustang over a vintage high flyer. So this combination right here of this humbucker and this guitar, it's just perfect for me. It took absolutely no time for this guitar to enter my top 10. I can't believe I can actually say this, but I did some traveling for the channel, and looking back, I'm still in disbelief and still in shock of all the places that my nerdy videos have taken me. In April, we toured the one and only Sound City Studios in Los Angeles, California. I had only one free day in LA, and the staff at Sound City were graciously able to accommodate me to their schedule. They allowed me to take a quick tour of their facility in the morning, just a few hours before their afternoon session was scheduled to start. Guys, it was so absolutely surreal to step into the actual live room where Nevermind was recorded. I just kind of stood there in silence, really taking it in, like really feeling the moment, and thinking, Kurt, Chris, and Dave, they tracked Smells Like Teen Spirit, In Bloom, Come As You Are, Drain You, all in this room. Nevermind is an album I've listened to 1,000,001 times over the years. But after April 2025 and this experience, it sounds like a completely new album to me. I've been lucky enough to stay in touch with the kind folks over at Sound City, and I've done a few poster giveaways with them on my Instagram. I am so honored to be connected with one of the most important and famous recording studios in rock music. And then in May, I was able to reveal the main reason why I was in Los Angeles in the first place. I was there to partner with Julian's Auctions, as they were gearing up to announce their auction of the actual gear Nirvana used on November 25th, 1991 at an in-studio radio session in the Netherlands, plus a Boss DS2 turbo distortion pedal that Kurt Cobain actually used in 1992. I was like a kid in a candy store when Julian showed me the DS2, Chris's bass and bass amp, Dave's small drum kit, and said, well, Eric, there you go. Do your thing. Get the footage that you need. Nirvana has changed my life in so many different ways. I know a lot of you are going to understand and relate when I say that when a specific artist has such a massive impact on your life and who you are as a musician, you get this desire to get as close to the music as possible. It's almost like a certain point listening is just not enough. You want to get even closer. For most bands, I feel like that craving is satisfied by going out and seeing them live. And we obviously, unfortunately, can't do that for Nirvana. So I feel like the next best thing is getting up close and personal to the actual gear that they used to create their music. So to play Kurt's riffs through his actual Boss DS2, to play my favorite Nirvana bass lines on a bass that Chris Novoselic himself actually played, I really don't have words to describe it. It feels like a massive understatement to say that that experience was a dream come true. I will never, ever be able to thank Julian's Auctions enough for their time and the trust they put in me with these pieces of music history. Kurt's Boss DS2 went on to sell for $16,000. This is now officially the most expensive guitar pedal I have ever played. As if getting to step inside the studio where Nirvana recorded their biggest album wasn't enough. 3 months later, in June, I found myself inside Packaderm Studios in Cannon Falls, Minnesota, where Nirvana's final album, In Utero, was recorded. As a Minnesotan, it's always been a dream of mine to visit Packaderm. I live only about an hour and a half away from it, so it's something that has always been on the back of my mind. In Utero is my favorite album of all time, so to physically be in the room where Kurt produced those crazy alien sounds for radio-friendly unit Shifter, where Dave beat the hell out of his drums on tracks like Scentless Apprentice and Milk It, and where Chris laid down his masterful bass lines in songs like Heart-Shaped Box and Dumb. It was like walking through music history. Like Sound City did to Nevermind for me, I now can't listen to In Utero the same way anymore after being inside Packaderm Studios. My favorite album feels so much more human and so much more personal now. I could have died happy with having just that one quick tour of Packaderm, but then 4 months later I was invited back to the studio by none other than Aaron Rash, someone who I've always respected and whose amazing videos continuously inspires and motivates me. Something that Aaron and I talked about is that we both noticed there are some kids online who made up like this fake rivalry between the two of us, that Aaron and I hated each other or that we got mad whenever the other uploaded or like weird things like that, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. Aaron had booked time at Packaderm Studios to film an epic In Utero tone video, and I am beyond honored that he reached out to me and extended the invite to meet him there. Thanks to him, I can now say that I've played In Utero songs in the actual room where those songs were recorded. If I think about that too much, it starts to hurt my head because this right here is an experience I would have never been able to dream up.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Isaiah from the channel Isaiah CW was there with Aaron to help him get footage. It was so amazing to finally meet him in person as well and to also play In Utero songs with him in that room. I'll never be able to thank Aaron and Isaiah enough for thinking of me and for reaching out. You guys are the best, and I really hope our paths cross again soon. Okay, going back now to the gear collection side of the channel. In October, I completed a build that I had been wanting to do for a really long time. It resulted in what I personally consider to be one of my most out there and most unique Nirvana guitars, my Kurt Cobain SG. What had stopped me from doing this build for so long was simply trying to find an SG with a passable shade of light blue. When I discovered that Epiphone had recently released an online exclusive color of aqua for their SG tribute line, it was game over. I saw this model and thought, this guitar is begging to be turned into a KC SG. My absolutely amazing guitar tech Jeff worked his magic and completely transformed this guitar. It's got an Eastwood Phase 4 high flyer humbucker and a Mustang single coil neck pickup, large harmonica style tune-o-matic bridge, 70s SG style inlays, completely rearranged controls, and of course, a whole lot of tape. I put out a history video about Kurt's SG, and I was lucky enough to communicate with Sluggo Collie himself during my research for it. He's the original owner of this SG and the one who traded it to Kurt in 1989. Such an honor to get to speak directly to the source and to be able to share the full and complete story of this often forgotten about Bleach era gem. That brings us now to the end of the year. My last video of 2025 was my Incesticide studio tone video. It's one that had been requested for years, but I felt like I never had the correct amp setup to get close to all 15 songs in one video. Until recently, thanks to Nirvana and their amazing preamp pedals. I spent a lot of time on dialing in these tones and putting this video together, and I'm really proud of the end result and so happy to finally have an Incesticide tone video on my channel. Those are just some of my top highlights for 2025, but there's so much more that happened too. I uploaded 68 videos this year, not counting shorts, and gained 22,000 subscribers. At the time of me recording this video, I currently have 81.8k subscribers, and that number just completely blows my mind. It doesn't even feel real. I try not to get sappy about this on my channel, pun intended, so I can stay true to my channel name and keep the focus on Nirvana's music and Nirvana's gear, but you all really gave me a purpose when I felt like professionally I had none and I had no career path in front of me. me. I graduated with a degree in audio production in 2016, and for the next 4 years, I worked professionally full-time as a live sound tech in various venues here in the Minneapolis and St. Paul area. But then in 2020, of course, COVID hit, and the live entertainment industry completely shut down. I lost all my audio jobs really quick, one after the other. And at the same time, my wife and I were expecting our first baby. So while I was excited beyond words to meet my baby girl and to start the journey of parenthood, I was also frankly terrified because I felt like at the time I had no way to support my family. The only thing I felt like I was ever good at, what I had my degree in, that entire field no longer existed at that point. And absolutely no one at the time had any idea when or if live entertainment would come back. And if it did come back, what it would look like. With a baby on the way, I didn't have time to wait, so I got a warehouse job so I could support my family. And quite frankly, I hated that job. It messed up my back really bad. Like I have back problems now thanks to it. And I found myself dreading going to work every day. And that's a terrible feeling. I would drive to work grieving the old life I had, remembering how I used to run sound and work with music and my passion every night. I really needed something to get me out of that hole that I was in. And that's when I decided to start uploading weekly here on YouTube. I was craving and searching for a way that I could work with music and recording and mixing again, and thought that with a YouTube channel, maybe I could mix my passion for audio production and my passion for my favorite band at the same time. I started uploading weekly videos every Friday in 2022 just to see if I could keep myself to a schedule. And to say that that decision was life-changing is a massive understatement. By 2023, the channel had put me in a position where I could leave that warehouse job, and I could focus on A, being a full-time dad here at home with my girls, and B, be a full-time Nirvana nerd online. I have the absolute greatest job in the world, and I'm not exaggerating, guys, when I say that every day I wake up excited and so grateful that I get to just nerd out on the internet and connect with a community of like-minded, passionate fans. So I really have you all to thank for that. I went from a place of not knowing at all what I was going to do with my career and with my job to then to a place where I have found something and I'm the happiest I have ever been professionally. Every single viewer, subscriber, follower across all my platforms, I will never, ever be able to thank all of you enough, seriously. I am so excited for 2026 because there's a lot more to come. Trust me when I say that there will be no slowing down here on my end. You can continue to expect my usual weekly videos, and I already have some really exciting builds I cannot wait for you to see. And of course, there's a big auction coming up in the Nirvana guitar world that you know we will be keeping an eye on and following very closely. From the bottom of my heart, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great New Year's and a great 2026. Special shout out to my amazing Patreon supporters. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Nirvana Guitars, and subscribe right here on YouTube for more weekly Nirvana gear videos, and I'll see you in the next one.